I will ask the applicant to come forward. Hi.
Hi.
Would you please introduce yourself?
Absolutely. My name's Anya Zavadil. I'm president of Castle Rock of Douglas County Pride. We're name changing, and the chair of planning for Douglas County Pridefest this year.
Would you like to tell us about your event?
Absolutely. So our nonprofit is an organization that supports the LGBTQIA residents of Douglas County and beyond. And one of the things that we do every year is a Pride Fest. Our first was in 2019. This is our first year being in Parker instead, and we're really excited about that. So our event is a true all ages event. We'll have vendors, we'll have a kids area with some Lego, some Pokemon cards, things of that nature. We do have an author showcase. We have a main stage with entertainment. We'll have food trucks. We're also this year for the first time having a 21+ sober area, which we're really excited about. When I say all ages, I mean all of our vendors are vetted. All of our entertainment and music is vetted to be G or PG. We make everyone sign contracts. We have conversations with anyone that might be someone we need to have extra conversations about to ensure that this event is an all ages event. And we also pre-vet all entertainment. We have planned for alcohol, mead poured by us, pre-mixed cocktail drinks poured by us, and then also some beer that'll be poured by the brewery. My application is for August 3rd and 4th. Our event is only on the 4th. On the questionnaire I submitted, I said there was a small chance that we may need to store some alcohol on the premises on August 3rd. That is no longer an issue. There will be nothing stored, no alcohol of any kind on August 3rd. So we are only looking, though the application says the 3rd and the 4th, there will only be alcohol on the premises or served on the 4th. Happy to answer any questions you have.
Or not? Are there any questions of the authority members?
The worst.
Yeah, what are the hours going to be now that you've
Thank you.
changed?
Yeah, we'll still do August 4th, 11 a.m. to 6 p.m.
What time again?
11 a.m. to 6 p.m. on August 4th only. We'll have alcohol on the premises about 10 a.m.
Sure. And your application stated that you have no drink limits.
That is correct. That is something we haven't ever had to do in the past. This is not a heavy drinking event. We had 1,320 attendees last year and served about 430 drinks. And that was including a 21+ event in the evening, which we're not doing this year. So this is not a heavy alcohol event, and we watch attendees as we go, just to ensure no one is getting overpoured.
Most of the special events that we have approved here for Parker have a limit.
Okay.
And, you know, even though, you know, you're saying it's not a heavy drinking
Right.
event, if there's, you know, out of your 1,300 people last year, it was 434 drinks served. Well, it only takes one bad apple, right?
If 100 of them was one person, that's a problem. Okay,
Would you be agreeable to putting a limit on those?
Absolutely. And if we do that, we can make sure we have a system in place to enforce that.
Yeah.
Well, most of them will have some type of wristband or where you have to mark them with an X.
Um,
And my question along the same line is, who and how are you going to check IDs?
So we will have 2 ID check areas, one at the entrance. If people want to get their ID checked there, I would prefer not, just to keep things flowing, but they can get it checked there. We'll also have a separate booth right next to the alcohol booth with separate volunteers whose only job is to check IDs. And then we already have those colorful Tyvek wristbands, like you get at all sorts of events. And we'll put those on 21+ people. So I'd be happy to ensure that we're Xing those wristbands since we already have that system in
Just from
place.
Parker days that we just had, and I was involved with one of the tents, that people would come over to buy a beer or drink, didn't have a wristband. And we could not sell to them because
Yes.
of that. That as he stated, is that you need some way of identifying whose ID has been checked, because most of your servers will not check an ID.
No, and we want that to be a separate process so that there's no time when the servers get busy and overwhelmed, right? Like that is a completely separate line. You get to wait in first
Okay.
to get that wristband. And like I said, since we already have that system in place, I am happy to add a system at that pouring station to ensure we're counting drinks.
And what limit would you think is reasonable?
The hardest part is for an event that long. I would love input. My brain gets nervous, right? Because if you're there for 7 hours, that feels very different than if you're there for 1. If you want me to make a decision right now, I am happy to. If you have any recommendations, I would love to hear them as well.
How does three drinks per person sound?
May I step in here?
Sure.
I don't think it's been our practice in the past to impose a limit on an applicant. Some applicants do that themselves because they want to. I think of the one at the Harley Davidson dealership where they only want to serve 3 beers or drinks to each person. And so they establish a wristband that they can mark it off 3 times and then it's done.
I understand.
But I don't think it's been our practice to impose limits because
Okay.
Parker Days does not have limits.
Yes, they do.
How do they impose a limit?
Well, I'll take that back. We could only sell 2 to 1 person
At a time.
at a time.
Oh,
But. for
Oh,
the
yeah.
entire day. Okay. So I think if that's something you want to consider, that might have to be offered as an amendment. Is that right, Corey?
It would, but again, there's no statutory basis at this point for a drink limit.
Okay.
I mean, we hope that you will serve responsibly and pay attention to overservice, but
when we say we have an all ages event, we don't want drunk people walking around, right? That's not conducive to the environment that we are trying to create. In regards to how many we sell at a time, 2 has always been our limit. I might buy one for a friend. I am not going to come get 4 drinks.
Okay.
I just don't think that's appropriate. On that, we have volunteers who just their job is to roam, and it'll be their job to check the risks of anyone with a drink as well.
Are they tip certified or anything? How are you gonna?
So our lead alcohol person is signed up for the tips training right now, so we'll be certified by August. She's there all day. And then we will have we'll have 2 shifts during the day. So we'll have 1 other person, 1 for each shift that will
Okay.
also be tips trained. So that'll be 2 at any given time.
Okay.
are there other questions?
I have a question about security.
Please.
The application is what security will you have that will make sure nobody leaves the premises? Well, that's pretty cut and dried. My question is, what kind of security will you have available?
Sure, just for the safety of all attendees. So we are working to have a meeting with Parker PD because if we have alcohol, they'll be there anyway. To make some plans with them. We try not to do any sort of internal planning that doesn't involve the police department. They're the true experts. However, we do also have our own security team. They work mainly with see something, say something, right? So their job is to wander. They'll also be checking wristbands and we'll sort of do a see something, say something radio to someone else if they are worried about the safety of anybody at the event. We also just have 1 in out that everyone goes through so we can check people as they come in and make sure they're there for all the right reasons. Thank you. We are really holding steady for many years now at under 1,500. So we would say between 13 and 1,500 this year as well.
And my question, living across the street from the park,
Sure.
is where are you gonna park that many people? Matzenbacher Road is under construction and. where are you
Right.
gonna get in and out?
Sure. So do you have a map? May I bring you a different one? I printed a more detailed one.
I'm sorry, on that one.
Yeah.
This.
look the same. There's a more detailed.
Yeah.
And I can describe it from memory now, so I can tell you what we're thinking. The southwest corner of the park will be entrance, but that entire gravel area on the south is all parking. So we'll be bringing people in. We've already talked to, the town is really clear that we don't have the privilege of blocking Matzenbacher. So we'll be getting cars in really quickly into that parking lot, but that whole gravel area will just be parking.
So that's the area in blue.
That sounds right to me. That I don't have memorized.
It's over by the.
Yeah.
Parks and Rec.
Yes,
Okay. Thank you.
absolutely. Thank you. Good question.
Are there any other questions of the applicant? Hearing none, I was wondering if it would be possible to amend the application since you said you no longer need to have,
On the third, alcohol.
because the permit would allow you to go on from midnight to 8 PM. Is that right? What's 12 AM? Midnight?
Probably,
Midnight to 8 PM. Would you be willing to amend it to just have the day since you don't need the extra day to store the alcohol?
of course. Do you need it amended for the time the liquor will be on the premises or the time we will be serving?
Just the time that the permit is valid.
Okay.
Instead of doing it August 3rd and 4th, would you just be willing to do it for August 4th?
Of course, of
Is
course.
that okay?
That's fine. And it's for any time the alcohol's on the premise, not just when it's served. So it can certainly be just the date of the 4th if you'd like.
Can I offer that amendment?
You can, or I mean, it sounds like the alcohol is arriving at 10 AM, you said roughly, or
We hope it arrives we know it will arrive between 9 and 10 AM.
so I'd probably do 7 AM just to be safe.
Okay.
I prefer that. Thank you. So how about 7 AM to 10 PM? That will, absolutely, that window is plenty large.
Should I do that now or after we vote?
You can simply do it in the motion.
If there are no further questions of the applicant, I will ask for a motion.
I move to approve the special events permit application, malt, Venus and spirituous liquor for Douglas County Pridefest on August 4th, 2024, between 7 AM and 10 PM at 11920 North Matzenbacher Road, subject to the following conditions: that proof of insurance is provided 30 days before the event, and that the community event permit is issued by the town.
A second.
Motion by Mr. Appleby, second by Mr. Coons to approve the permit as amended. Let's vote. Mr. Appleby?
Yes.
I'm a yes. Mr. Coons?
Yes.
Mr. Mulder?
Yes.
All right, motion passes 4-0. Congratulations. Good luck with your event.
Thank you very much.
You.